Reading through the Bible in 1 year, August 6th, Ruth 3 through 4, Psalms 144 through 145, Jeremiah 29, and Psalms 23 through 25. Then Naomi, her mother-in-law, said to her, "My daughter, should I not seek rest for you, that it may be well with you? Is not Boaz our relative, with whose young women you were? See, hold on. Let's try this again. See, he is winnowing barley tonight at the threshing floor. Wash, therefore, and anoint yourself, and put on your cloak, and go down to the threshing floor. But do not make yourself known to the man until he has finished eating and drinking. But when he lies down, observe the place where he lies. Then go and uncover his feet and lie down, and he will tell you what to do." She replied, "All that you say I will do." Now, the uncover his feet thing sounds weird to us, so I'm just going to read the note on it because, I'm not as good as R.C. Sproul in explaining things. So uncovering feet is a highly symbolic act. By coming to the threshing floor and lying at Boaz's feet, Ruth is asking Boaz to marry her. She is, in effect, saying that she wants to be redeemed, and she's awaiting Boaz's judgment in the matter. So she went down to the threshing floor and did just as her mother-in-law had commanded her. And when Boaz had eaten and drunk, and his heart was merry, he went to lie down at the end of the heap of grain. Then she came softly and uncovered his feet and lay down. At midnight, the man was startled and turned over, and behold, a woman lay at his feet. He said, "Who are you?" She said, "I am Ruth, your servant. Spread your wings over your servant, for you are a redeemer." And he said, "May you be blessed by the Lord, my daughter. You have made this last kindness greater than the first, in that you have not gone after young men, whether poor or rich. And now, my daughter, do not fear, for I will do all that you ask. For all my fellow townsmen know that you are a worthy woman. And now it is true that I am a redeemer, yet there is a redeemer nearer than I. Remain tonight, and in the morning, if he will redeem you, good, let him do it. But if he is not willing to redeem you, then, as the Lord lives, I will redeem you. Lie down until the morning." So she lay at his feet until the morning, but arose before anyone could recognize one another. And he said, "Let it not be known that a woman came to the threshing floor." He said, "Bring the garment that you are wearing and hold it out." So she held it, and he measured out 6 measures of barley and laid it on and put it on her. And she went into the city. And when she came to her mother-in-law, she said, "How did you fare, my daughter?" Then she told her all that the man had done for her, saying, "These 6 measures of barley he gave to me." He said to me, "You must not go back empty-handed to your mother-in-law." She replied, "Wait, my daughter, until you learn how the matter turns out, for the man will not rest, but will settle the matter today." Now Boaz had gone up to the gate and sat down there, and behold, the Redeemer, of whom Boaz had spoken, came by. So Boaz said, "Turn aside, friend, and sit down here." He turned and sat down. Then he took men of the elders of the city and said, "Sit down here." So they sat down. Then he said to the Redeemer, "Naomi, who has come back from the country of Moab, is selling the parcel of land that belonged to our relative Elimelech. So I thought I would tell you of it and say, buy it in the presence of those sitting here, and in the presence of the elders of my people. If you will redeem it, redeem it. But if you will not, tell me, that I may know, for there is no one besides you to redeem it, and I come after you." And he said, "I will redeem it." He's like, "Heck yeah, land? Yeah, I'll do that." Then Boaz said, "The day you buy the field from the hand of Naomi, you also acquire Ruth the Moabite, the widow of the dead, in order to perpetuate the name of the dead in his inheritance." The Redeemer said, "I cannot redeem it for myself, lest I impair my own inheritance. Take my right of redemption to yourself, for I cannot redeem it." Now this was the custom in former times in Israel concerning redeeming and exchanging. To confirm a transaction, the one drew off his sandal and gave it to the other. And this was the manner of attesting in Israel. So when the Redeemer said to Boaz, "Buy it for yourself," he drew off his sandal. Then Boaz said to the elders and to all the people, "You are witnesses this day that I have bought from the hand of Naomi all that belonged to Elimelech and all that belonged to Chilon and Mahlon. Also, Ruth the Moabite, the widow of Mahlon, I have bought to be my wife, to perpetuate the name of the dead in his inheritance, that the name of the dead may not be cut off from among his brothers, and from the gate of his native place. You are witnesses this day." Then all the people who were at the gate and all the elders said, "We are witnesses. May the Lord make the woman who is coming into your house like Rachel and Leah, who together built up the house of Israel. May you act worthily in Ephrathah, and be renowned in Bethlehem. And may your house be like the house of Perez, whom Tamar bore to Judah, because of the offspring that the Lord will give you by this young woman." So Boaz took Ruth, and she became his wife, and he went into her. And the Lord gave her conception, and she bore a son. Then the women said to Naomi, "Blessed be the Lord, who has not left you this day without a redeemer, and may his name be renowned in Israel. He shall be to you a restorer of life and a nourisher of your old age. For your daughter-in-law, who loves you, who is more to you than 7 sons, has given birth to him." Then Naomi took the child and laid him on her lap and became his nurse. And the women of the neighborhood gave him a name, saying, "A son has been born to you, Naomi." And they called him Obed. He was the father of Jesse, the father of David. Now these are the generations of Perez. Perez fathered Hezron, and Hezron fathered Ram, and Ram fathered Amminadab, and Amminadab fathered Nahshon, and Nahshon fathered Salmon, and Salmon fathered Boaz, and Boaz fathered Obed, and Obed fathered Jesse, and Jesse fathered David. Tomorrow, I hope we start in 1 Samuel, but this tends to move around a little bit, so we might not. That said, if we do start in 1 Samuel, then begins the long trek through the story of the kings. But 1 and 2 Samuel, good reading. All right, let's get on it. Psalms 144 through 145. Blessed be the Lord, my rock, who trains my hands for war and my fingers for battle. He is my steadfast love and my fortress, my stronghold and my deliverer, my shield and he in whom I take refuge, who subdues peoples under me. O Lord, what is man that you regard him, or the son of man that you think of him? Man is like a breath, his days are like a passing shadow. Bow your heavens, O Lord, and come down. Touch the mountains so that they smoke. Flash forth the lightning and scatter them. Send out your arrows and rout them. Stretch your hand from on high. Rescue me and deliver me from many waters, from the hand of foreigners, whose mouths speak lies, and whose right hand is a right hand of falsehood. I will sing a new song to you, O God. Upon a 10-stringed harp I will play to you, who gives victory to kings, who rescues David, his servant, from the cruel sword. Rescue me and deliver me from the hand of foreigners, whose mouths speak lies, and whose right hand is a right hand of falsehood. May our sons in their youth be like plants full grown, our daughters like corner pillars, cut for the structure of a palace. May our granaries be full, providing all kinds of produce. May our sheep bring forth thousands and 10,000s in our fields. May our cattle be heavy with young, suffering no mishap or failure in bearing. May there be no cry of distress in our streets. Blessed are the people to whom such blessings fall. Blessed are the people whose God is the Lord. 145. I will extol you, my God and King, and bless your name forever and ever. Every day I will bless you and praise your name forever and ever. Great is the Lord, and greatly to be praised, and his greatness is unsearchable. One generation shall commend your works to another, and shall declare your mighty acts. On the glorious splendor of your majesty, and on your wondrous works I will meditate. They shall speak of the might of your awesome deeds, and I will declare your greatness. They shall pour forth the name of your abundant goodness, and shall sing aloud of your righteousness. The Lord is gracious and merciful, slow to anger, and abounding in steadfast love. The Lord is good to all, and his mercy is over all that he has made. All your works shall give thanks to you, O Lord, and all your saints shall bless you. They shall speak of the glory of your kingdom and tell of your power, to make known to the children of man your mighty deeds and the glorious splendor of your kingdom. Your kingdom is an everlasting kingdom, and your dominion endures throughout all generations. The Lord is faithful in all his works, and is kind in all his works. The Lord upholds all who are falling, and raises up all who are bowed down. The eyes of all look to you, and you give them their food in due season. You open your hand, you satisfy the desire of every living thing. The Lord is righteous in all his ways, and kind in all his works. The Lord is near to all who call on him, in truth. He fulfills the desire of those who fear him. He also hears their cry and saves them. The Lord preserves all who love him, but all the wicked he will destroy. My mouth will speak the praise of the Lord, and let all flesh bless his holy name forever and ever. Now, Jeremiah 29. All right. We're going to go through one of the verses that I don't struggle with it. I personally don't struggle with it. I have a lot of friends who swear that it's their life verse. Yet they are not exiles in Babylon. So, before we begin this, remember, this is a letter to the people who were just exiled to Babylon. This includes Daniel and Rakshak and Beni, right? This includes some of the kings, the princes, and all of the officials in Jerusalem. All the people of Judah who were just sent over to Babylon. Right? They were all sent there on purpose by God. And these are the ones also who willingly walked out of the temple or walked out of the city and said, yes, we surrender to you. These are the ones that God promised good things to, but told all of the other people, if you do not go out to the Chaldeans, if you do not go out to the Babylonians and put yourself at their mercy, then you will fall under the threefold destruction I'm going to lay on you. Sword, famine, and pestilence. Those are the three things that he said he's going to bring to them. So to those who left, this is kind of his love letter to them. This is his list of promises to those people who have done the right thing and who have walked away from what they see as their heritage, right? The heritage of the Lord. They see it as they're abandoning God and they're abandoning their way. But he's telling them, no, you have done the right thing. Let's move on. These are the words of the letter that Jeremiah the prophet sent from Jerusalem to the surviving elders of the exiles, and to the priests, the prophets, and all the people whom Nebuchadnezzar had taken into exile from Jerusalem to Babylon. Right? Now, we've talked before about audience, the audience to whom the letter is being given. This is the audience. Specifically, it's being written. We need to understand things in their context, and we need to understand things as they would have been interpreted by the people who read them. Who is this being sent to? We can absolutely glean some things for our own personal lives, but we're not to pluck life verses from this and apply them to our personal lives today. That is not the case with this text. This is obviously a letter that is written very specifically to people who are the elders, rather the exiles who had been sent to Babylon. Now this was after King Jeconiah and the queen mother, the eunuchs, the officials of Judah and Jerusalem, the craftsmen, the metal workers, had departed from Jerusalem. The letter was sent by the hand of Elsa, the son of Shaphan, and Gamaliel, the son of the son of Hilkiah, whom Zedekiah, king of Judah, sent to Babylon to Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon. And it said, "Thus says the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel, to all the exiles whom I have sent." Right? Who sent them? God sent them into exile from Jerusalem to Babylon. Build houses and live in them. Plant gardens and eat their produce. Take wives and have sons and daughters. Take wives for your sons and give your daughters in marriage, that they may bear sons and live. Multiply there and do not decrease. But seek the welfare of the city where I have sent you into exile. Saying, don't act like you're people from Jerusalem. Don't act like you're people from Judah who are going to live in this place and complain and not do your hardest work. Don't be those people. Be people who now live in Babylon. This is your new city. And the families you plant here, these are your new families. Don't worry about what's happening in Judah. Don't worry about what's happening in Jerusalem. This is your new city. Restating that line, but seek the welfare of the city where I have sent you into exile, and pray to the Lord on its behalf. Pray to God that he would take care of the Babylonians, that he would protect that city, that he would do things for the welfare of Babylon. For in its welfare, you will find your welfare. For thus says the Lord, the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel, do not let your prophets and your diviners who are among you deceive you, and do not listen to the dreams that they dream, for it is a lie that they are prophesying to you in my name. I did not send them, declares the Lord. For thus says the Lord. Now remember, this is being sent to the people who are in Babylon, the exiles who are there. For thus says the Lord, when 70 years are completed for Babylon, I will visit you. And I will fulfill to you my promise and bring you back to this place. For I know the plans that I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans for welfare and not for evil, to give you a future and a hope. Note, he's not talking to people who are graduating college. He's not talking to people who are just graduating high school, right? He's not talking to young people or to people here in America who are going through, all sorts of evil persecutions. Maybe they have a Jesus fish on their car, someone plucked off, and I know the plans the Lord has for me, for welfare and not for evil, future and a hope. No. We can absolutely pull pieces of this, but that is not for you. It is not written to you. Unless you are a very old exile to Babylon. You're not? I didn't think so. This is written specifically to a very specific people. God is going to, he has already sent them to Babylon. They're going to be there 70 years. All right, this is where we get the 70 weeks originally from Daniel, right? So this is the same kind of thing. Daniel also knows this. So when we start reading the book of Daniel, we're going to see him say that he knows that the time is drawing near. Why does he know that the time is drawing near? Because of this letter that was sent to him and to the rest of the people who were exiles in Babylon. That's how he knows it's going to happen. So let's continue on. So when that happens, remember, God sent them on purpose. In 70 years, he's going to come and get them. He knows the plans that he has for them. It is not going to be all that bad. They're afraid right now. And they have these false prophets among them who say, oh, don't worry. We're going to go back any minute now. Any second. Well, Babylon's going to completely fall. And then we're going to immediately pick up our stuff and go right back where we were. And we're going to take all the stuff out of the temple that Nebuchadnezzar took. We're going to take all those things and put them right back in the temple, and everything will be just like it was before. No, he says, ignore that. Because you're going to be here 70 years, and after the end of 70 years, then I am going to release you. How do we know this? Because remember how God said that he was not going to listen to them anymore. But here we are in verse 12. Then you will call upon me and come and pray to me, and I will hear you. You will seek me and find me when you seek me with all your heart. And I will be found by you, declares the Lord. And I will restore your fortunes and gather you from the nations and all the places where I have driven you, declares the Lord. And I will bring you back to the place from which I sent you into exile. Because you have said, the Lord has raised up for us prophets in Babylon. Thus says the Lord concerning the king who sits on the throne of David, and concerning all the people who dwell in the city, your kinsmen who did not go out with you into exile. Remember, they had the option. They could have chosen to go into exile. And Jeremiah specifically had told them, go into exile. When Nebuchadnezzar shows up, grab your bag and start walking. Go to Babylon. If you want to survive this, that's what you have to do. So here now he's talking about the people who didn't go. Thus says the Lord of hosts, behold, I am sending on them sword, famine, and pestilence. See that? Threefold destruction. And I will make them like vile figs that are so rotten they cannot be eaten. Remember that prophecy? I will pursue them with sword, famine, and pestilence, and I will make them a horror to all the kingdoms of the earth, to be a curse, a terror, a hissing, and a reproach among all the nations where I have driven them, because they did not pay attention to my words, declares the Lord, that I persistently sent to you by my servants the prophets. But you would not listen, declares the Lord. Hear the word of the Lord, all you exiles whom I sent away from Jerusalem to Babylon. Thus says the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel, concerning Ahab, the son of Koliah, and Zedekiah, the son of Messiah, who are prophesying to you a lie in my name, calling them by name, he is. Behold, I will deliver them into the hand of Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, and he shall strike them down before your eyes. Because of them, this curse shall be used by all the exiles from Judah and Babylon. The Lord make you like Zedekiah and Ahab, whom the king of Babylon roasted in the fire, because they have done an outrageous thing in Israel. They have committed adultery with their neighbors' wives. They have spoken in my name lying words that I did not command them. I am the one who knows, and I am witness, declares the Lord. To Shemaiah of Nahalaim you shall say, thus says the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel. You have sent letters in your name to all the people who are in Jerusalem, and to Zephaniah, the son of Messiah the priest, and to all the priests, saying, the Lord has made you priests instead of Jehoiada the priest, to change the house of the Lord over to every... Oh, I'm going to resay that. The Lord has made you priests instead of Jehoiada the priest, to have charge in the house of the Lord over every madman who prophesies, to put him in the stocks and neck irons. Now, why have you not rebuked Jeremiah of Anathoth, who is prophesying to you? For he is sent to us in Babylon, saying, your exile will be long. Build houses and live in them, and plant gardens and eat their produce. Right? So this is what they're saying, because it was sent to them. They heard it, and they sent back to Jerusalem saying, you need to kill Jeremiah, this prophet. So Zephaniah the priest read this letter in the hearing of Jeremiah the prophet. Then the word of the Lord came to Jeremiah. Send to all the exiles, saying, thus says the Lord concerning Shemaiah of Nahalaim. Because Shemaiah has prophesied to you when I did not send him, and has made you trust in a lie, therefore Thus says the Lord, behold, I will punish Shemaiah of Nehelim and his descendants. He shall not have anyone living among this people, and he shall not see the good that I will do to my people, declares the Lord, for he has spoken rebellion against the Lord. Now Psalm 23 through 25. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside still waters. He restores my soul. He leads me in paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil. My cup overflows. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I shall dwell in the house of the Lord forever. People like that psalm for a lot of reasons. I personally like it because it declares God's sovereignty from the beginning all the way through. Psalm 24. The earth is the Lord's and the fullness thereof, the world and all those who dwell therein. For he has founded it upon the seas and established it upon the rivers. Who shall ascend the hill of the Lord? And who shall stand in his holy place? So first off, God owns it all. Second, now we're asking, who is the person who could enter into God's presence? Who can enter directly into his presence? He who has clean hands, a pure heart, who does not lift up his soul to what is false, and does not swear deceitfully. He will receive blessing from the Lord and righteousness from the God of his salvation. Such is the generations of those who seek him, who seek the face of the God of Jacob. Lift up your heads, O gates, and be lifted up, O ancient doors. Now, the heads right here, there's a note on this. The gatekeeper would have given instructions for the gates to be opened to the newly arriving worshippers. Heads are either personified gates in the sanctuary that are to be opened, or, more likely, a metonym for the gatekeepers to lift up their heads in honor of the entering and victorious king. So there's not something like on the gate that's called the head of the gate. But why are they lifting it up? Why are they lifting them up at the ancient doors? That the King of glory may come in. Who is this King of glory? The Lord, strong and mighty, the Lord mighty in battle. Lift up your heads, O gates, and lift them up, O ancient doors, that the King of glory may come in. Who is this King of glory? The Lord of hosts. He is the King of glory. Psalm 25. To you, O Lord, I lift up my soul. O my God, in you I trust. Let me not be put to shame. Let not my enemies exult over me. Indeed, none who wait for you shall be put to shame. They shall be ashamed who are wantonly treacherous. Make me to know your ways, O Lord. Teach me your paths. Lead me in your truth and teach me. For you are the God of my salvation. For you I wait all the day long. Remember your mercy, O Lord, and your steadfast love, for they have been from old. Remember not the sins of my youth, or my transgressions. According to your steadfast love, remember me. For the sake of your goodness, O Lord. Good and upright is the Lord. Therefore he instructs sinners in the way. He leads the humble in what is right, and teaches the humble his way. All the paths of the Lord are steadfast love and faithfulness, for those who keep his covenant and his testimonies. For your name's sake, O Lord, pardon my guilt, for it is great. Who is the man that fears the Lord? Him will he instruct in the way that he should choose. His soul shall abide in well-being, and his offspring shall inherit the land. The friendship of the Lord is for those who fear him, and he makes known to them his covenant. My eyes are ever toward the Lord, for he will pluck my feet out of the net. Turn to me and be gracious to me, for I am lonely and afflicted. The troubles of my heart are enlarged. Bring me out of my distresses. Consider my affliction and my trouble, and forgive all my sins. Consider how many are my foes, and with what violent hatred they hate me. O guard my soul and deliver me. Let me not be put to shame, for I take refuge in you. May integrity and uprightness preserve me. I wait for you. Redeem Israel, O God, out of all his troubles. Behold, the word of the Lord.